Thank you. Time back on. That's rough.
Welcome back to Gus and Gawn. It is a new year. I'm not even going to say welcome back, even though I started with welcome back.
That's all right.
Let's scrap welcome back.
We can cut it out. That's the sort of power we've got here.
Welcome to Gus and Gawn
2021.
2021. We're rebranding.
Rebrand, everything.
Yep.
It's a new year.
Yep.
Us.
We've been open to feedback the whole way. Feedback that we've been getting not only online, we've been getting
person?
on the street.
Yeah, so we've got, I reckon I had 3 days in a row where people came up to me. You were there for one of them.
Yep.
Saying, when's the next podcast coming out? We love your work.
Yep.
What's Lingers up to? Things of that nature. So people are really sort of, I guess, waiting on us to give something back. And here we are, Max, in front of the mics again, ready to go.
And we've got updates on Lingers today.
We've got plenty. We've got a lot. There's a big episode.
Yep.
There's a few big things we've got to cover off. Probably start with the Christmas break because you and I both had birthdays. We both had Christmases too. And
yes.
New Year's, so
Funny that.
Yeah,
Funny
so
that. On the 25th of December, was that when yours was?
my Christmas, yeah, that was when mine was.
Yeah.
How was it? How'd you go?
No, it was good. So I joined in with the young boys and did the 2 weeks training pre-Christmas.
Yep.
I was fit. There was nothing really wrong with me. I wasn't injured, so I was able to get out there for 2 weeks. And I liked that part of training, being able to get something in before Christmas.
Yeah.
And then, I went to Gold Coast for 4 days. Managed to time it to perfection, that there was no border restrictions or anything, and was able to get up to Gold Coast for 4 days.
What date did you come back?
23 to 27 was the trip.
You've nailed that.
I've nailed it. Spent Christmas Day at my brother's.
How was that?
Yep, it was great. Mum and Dad were there as well.
Christmas meat of choice was a
all
turkey,
three were there.
ham.
All three were there. Turkey, ham, and pork.
Cool. That's tick, tick, tick.
The big three. Although I don't understand turkey at Christmas time.
Yeah,
I don't understand turkey at all.
Yeah, as a general rule of thumb, it's my least favourite bird
Yep.
to eat, but it's there. So I had turkey as well, fun fact.
Whatever goes on the ham around Christmas time is unbelievable. Is
Like
it honey?
glaze.
Yeah, they
and they cut it up
drench
and-
the ham in honey glaze.
I love a honey glazed ham. At the record show.
Caught up with Maisie up in Gold Coast. He was up there, went for a run with him, and he rolled his ankle on a flat bit of grass.
Figure that one out.
And the funny thing is, if I wasn't there, no one's going to believe that Stephen May rolled his ankle on Boxing Day accidentally while doing the running program on a flat bit of grass. So he's lucky that I was there. Seems very
Did you
coincidental.
see it happen?
I saw it happen.
Looked
He just
pretty
tried to turn around and rolled his ankle.
He's got a big upper body, so that maybe
Yep.
the weight just, it's physics.
The good thing is he hasn't missed training.
he hasn't.
But yes, Christmas break, that's what I did. What did you do?
I was down in Port Fairy, around the corner from Warrnambool with my mum and dad, my youngest brother Andrew, and uncle and his family. So we had a nice spot on the beach, and 3 meets. We had exactly the same. It sounds like, honestly, carbon copy of what you did.
Yeah.
Not a hell of a lot of training though. I had a pretty low key time up until Christmas. Did 100 hundreds on a watt bike.
That's funny. You weren't very low key at my birthday though.
Well,
that was
chronologically, your birthday comes after Christmas.
correct.
So let's get
Correct.
there. Let's take your
I was
time.
thinking whole New Year.
We'll get there.
It's not about me.
But did my 100 hundreds, then went down, and Danielle has a place. Her family lives. Their holiday sort of setup is down near Port Arlington, which is near Queenscliff, for those who don't know. And a lot of sun, a lot of nice
What'd you do for the 100, seeing as though you couldn't
watt
run?
bike. I just said 100 watt bike hundreds. So whenever Andrew would run, I'd do 300 plus watts, and then would slow down to 150 plus when he was rested. I honestly think it was harder. It was about 8 degrees in Port Fairy.
Yeah.
That morning we got up nice and early, which we sort of have a habit of doing because usually it gets to like 30 by 11 and then 40 by midday. So it's not worth doing that. It gets so much harder, but it was so cold. I think it made a huge difference. It's funny that, isn't it?
Yeah.
The less hot it is, the easier it is to sort of exercise. But it was good. Won the morning and therefore won the day and had a pretty good break. It was good. Then we got the ferry across to yours, Maxie.
For my birthday.
For your birthday.
My 29th.
Nice and nice.
I confused a few people by saying, can I have... Are you right?
I'll take my hat off.
Okay.
I want to see my long, luscious locks.
I confused a few people because my birthday's on the 30th and I said, do you want to come over for my birthday on the 30th? And I started getting some 30th presents, but I'm actually only 29.
Well, I heard you lied to the Sereno Hotel owner and said it was my 30th to get a...
That doesn't sound like something I'd do.
Well, I mean, he came up to you. I heard him say happy 30th.
The cake did have a 3 and a 0 on it, but I think that's the confusion with the text message.
Could potentially be.
You stayed over that night.
I did.
I live down
hospitable.
south now, and you were able to stay over.
Beautiful barbecue that day. I wasn't required for onions, although I was ready to if need be.
In fact, you were asked to.
I bought onions.
Yeah.
I wasn't asked to cook them, which,
Well,
I'm not going to say it ruined the day, but certainly didn't add to it. That I was sort of sitting inside. I was on the bench
Yep.
when the ball was going up. But no, we had a great night. And
Quick shout out to
Miles
Barbie
Marcus.
Onions. Barbie Onions.
Oh yeah, Barbie Onions is absolutely.
And how do we-
hang on, we'll circle back to Barbie
Okay,
Onions.
yeah,
Later. We'll
good
come
point.
there. But looked after well by this round.
And then your birthday wasn't long after New Year's.
So New Year's Eve.
25?
25. All the
Wow.
way there. Gee whiz.
Wow, you're not a young player anymore.
Oh, I'm not.
No.
It was a bit weird. Yeah, 25. My mum said to me, she called me up on the day before, and she was like,
Favourite of the podcast.
big time. Deborah Brayshaw,
yeah.
she's right up. She
We
was at
episode 1.
inaugural.
Yeah,
She
episode
was.
1.
And
We
she
should
said-
get it back on.
We should.
Yeah.
And she would love that. And she said something along the lines of, 25 is a great milestone, whatever. It was the first time I really felt very old, though. And I sort of sat there and looked back, and I was like, you know what? It's my 7th year, AFL. I'm a quarter of the way to a century. Seen a lot of things, Max, in my time. Like,
Yep.
I'm getting old. So.
Yep.
But no, I had a great day. A lot of onions.
That's good.
I had a barbecue at mum and dad's and just some family and friends over. So no, it was very low key. And yeah, then back into training.
Yeah, which leads us to day one. Day one it's always a scary day. The anxiety around day one.
Plenty of anxiety.
I'm now into my 11th season, or maybe 12.
You wanted 29.
2009. But I wasn't in the 2009 season. So what does that
When did
mean?
you get drafted?
2009 end.
So 2010
10 was my
your
first
you
season.
Played 10, 11, 12. Oh, 10 or 11. 12? Let's call it
Could be 12. All right. I'm into my 17th season.
You're a senior player.
No, so and day one anxiety is still there.
I think it's universal, right? No matter, unless you're like Daniel Cross, who like counts the days down so that you can come back. Someone like that, Billy Stretch, has been like
The
that.
great man, Crossy.
What a legend! We need to speak to him sometime soon. But he, I think it's universal. Everyone gets a bit of anxiety. I actually didn't.
Because you weren't doing any of the tests.
Time trials,
Yeah.
which I did yesterday. There were some nerves yesterday.
Yeah. So we had a 4-1Kers for those that are unaware of what our time trial is.
Wouldn't recommend it to the podcast listeners. If you're thinking about trying, I'd stay clear.
I've run a lot in my time.
I think, yeah.
And
yes, you
every
have.
time Dave Misson or even Darren Burgess or before that Joel Hocking, I think. That's bad if I forgot his last name. But those three have been my bosses, and Baba before that. 3-1Ks has always been the
Sweet
run.
spot, yeah.
No, like every time we do 1Ks,
yeah,
you go,
sure.
yep, you're doing 3. I don't know where 4s come from.
I think I remember, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, I got the sense that Bergeau said, all right, we're doing 3 1Ks.
and then chucked in another one.
Hit us real late with the 4th just to sort of like play with our minds a little
Yeah.
bit, and then it sort of stuck. So
Because 3-1Ks is a good test because the last 500 of the third K is horrible.
yeah,
But then
Yes,
we're
it is.
adding another K on, which makes it even worse.
it's certainly not an easy test by any stretch. But the boys did really well.
Yeah, we had 17 to 20 PBs or
Yeah.
something. We've only done it twice, so
No, it's pretty good.
it's not a massive PB when you've only done it twice. But
Enough. It's good enough. I mean, we did them last year after
After the
couple of
COVID
playoff,
break.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
everyone was super fit. So it's good to see that the lads have come back and have.
we only have 3 in rehab.
I am one of them.
You are one.
I'm the sort of rehab president. Hibbo's in and out. He's been in the main drills a bit, and so is Petty. So I'm the only really constant.
You've been getting a couple of visits from a few people every
Stephen
now and
May's
then.
dropped in a few
Yeah,
times.
the rolled ankle incident.
That ankle.
Jonesy just because of age.
Yeah, old man's everything. Just
Yeah,
an old man.
they're looking after him. Potentially last ever time trial we ever did.
Speaking of blokes who were really impressed, he
Yeah.
was super fit.
Is that the last one he'll
Could well be.
be? I mean, we're hoping he's here next year, but that could be his last ever time trial.
I'll be pushing for him to come back, but you know, if it
He'll
is,
be the kind of
he's
guy
gone out
who'll
well.
come in just for time trial day to do it.
Well, yeah, he could be the new Crossy. We need one. But no, it's good.
And training's been good. From obviously you haven't been out there.
I'll take
but
your word for it. Yeah, I'm not.
training's been really good.
Rehab's been pretty good too. Mind you.
Loving some of the new additions of Ooze, Adam Ooze, who we can
Yeah.
potentially get on here one day.
Yeah, you'd have plenty to say, I reckon.
Yeah, Melbourne faithful love
Yeah.
Ooze.
Oh, that's an
Ooze.
absolute given. He's a fan favourite for sure.
When I first got to the club, I was a year after Ooze retired.
Yeah.
And on family days and whatnot, you'd go try and sign kids' tops, and all they wanted was Ooze. I'm like, he's not even here. And then the kids would be crying, but he's back. Still wears long sleeves around, which is good.
Yeah, it's good to see.
And also a big new addition to the forward line, who is a
Big
podcast.
Brenny Bound.
Didn't you stuff that up?
Jeez, that was funny. No, he's terrific. You can't miss him, can you?
You can't miss him. He's very big. Do
Isn't
I
he?
look like that out there? Or do I blend in a little bit more?
No, you do look like that. But
Okay.
if you had his hair, I'd imagine you'd look bigger. If
Yeah.
you're beard was on your head, like he's got a massive set of hair that just adds to his size. I
So
think
we're
that would
loving
take you to
Brenny.
a new level. Brenny's a fan favourite and a friend of our podcast, isn't
Friend
he?
of our podcast. And then we got the 3 new boys who we do
Yes.
want to get in here at some point.
Fraser Rossman and I played golf together. I can report back really well on him.
Yep, Fraser Rossman, for those that have been seeing him at the front of the running and thinking that we're all unfit, the first year's beating us, I guarantee you this kid, I haven't seen anything like it.
No. It's, I honestly, so I don't, to be fair, see a heap of training, but Hibbo and I had finished our running and were sitting on some spin bikes and we sort of looked back out on the field and he was running essentially by himself, and we thought it must be like a first year thing. Like they're only just putting
No, he was
first
just a
years
lap
around.
in front.
And honestly, you were maybe 50 metres behind him and Tommy Mack and Melky, and there was that much gap. It was like 40 metres between goalposts to where he was, and it was just, he's that fit. It's almost frightening.
I was within 40. It's not bad.
Mate, you must be real fit.
I
you
must be
are,
going well.
Yeah, exactly. So he's a freak. And
So-
the Sandy Dragon, which we really love, don't we?
We have now become the footy factory.
Yeah, we are. I think we've got 8.
Yeah, we've
dragons.
got 8, and we've had more than that. Obviously, have come through the doors in recent years in Watts and Crystal.
Yeah, exactly. We've got some real
multiple Sandy Dragons.
a strong dragon legacy.
And the other 2 boys, Bill Laurie, who has blended in.
Bill Laurie.
Bill Laurie.
That's a great nickname,
Well, with Bailey Laurie's quite boring.
isn't it?
Um,
you got me there. I think that's a brilliant nickname.
So Bill has blended in.
Hasn't
He's looking like a ready-made footballer. And young Jake Bowser
Bowser.
or Horse. He's getting both.
Take your pick.
Yeah.
Both names work.
Both names
Also
work.
a dragon.
Yeah, also a dragon. Bowser
golfer.
he plays off 11,
Well, yeah, I've heard.
apparently.
I've heard. I don't know where he plays.
Apparently a member of Royal Brighton. Have you heard of that?
Brighton. I mean, I would never. I love golf. Golf in all shapes and sizes.
Well,
but
put it this way, it costs $14 to play 18 holes, I think, down at Royal
Well,
Brighton.
let's just save our judgment for Bowser until we get to know him a bit more. But he, so all blended in well. Is that the feedback you're giving me? 'Cause
And then we've got 2 boys training on in Kobe
yes,
and Deacon.
we do. Farmer.
Kobe and Jeff, who was here watching Kobe the other day train, we potentially might try and get them on the podcast at some point as well.
Talk of fan favourites. I'm sure the Wizard would be up there.
The Wizard would definitely be up there, and
Right up.
Kobe will be if he does get the tap on the shoulder from Joe's tap on the shoulder's getting told to go, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the opposite to the tap on the shoulder, maybe
tap on the
the hug.
Big hug?
Yeah, the big hug from Joe's Taylor, and
could be
gets
could
the
be
last
a
spot on the
sympathetic
list.
hug, like bad luck, mate.
I'm sure he'll be a fan favourite as well. But that's probably enough for training.
It's been good. So far, so good.
So far, so good. We had a golf day in there, like you said. You played with Fraser Rossman.
did.
Stephen May was unbelievable.
Which is a bit annoying because of all the people who you wouldn't want to have a good day. He's
It's
right
probably
at the
Stephen
top.
May, yep.
He had 3 over the card, which is a good effort. Who else played well? Jay Lockhart.
Jay Lockhart was
nudged
really well.
himself down in the single figures, which is a fair effort for all the golfers out there.
Thanks to the beautiful course and
Settlers
team
Run.
down there of Settlers Run down.
Brilliant.
I say Cranbourne, but apparently it's Botanic Ridge, which sounds a lot nicer.
Botanic Ridge is it's got a much nicer ring to it. Botanic.
Dean Kent lives on the first.
Saw Kenty.
We
Did
all,
you see him?
I don't normally hook, but I decided to hook because he lives on the first. I wanted to try and get in his backyard.
Dead straight because I
Yeah.
heard there was a lot of snakes floating around.
Yeah,
so-
there was a snake the next
you
day.
see one?
Oh, so, no,
Oh, there,
Kenty
next
sent me a
day.
Snapchat the next day.
Yeah, well, I was gun barrel straight all day, so I didn't have to worry about any snakes, any reptiles.
That's
But-
funny, you didn't win though.
No, I didn't win. I didn't win. There's nothing else to it. I just wasn't quite there. How did you go?
Third,
Really?
yeah.
What was your handicap?
Myself
you
and
bandit?
Harrison Petty, I played off 20, he played off 23. He probably not a 23.
Better?
Harry Petty's not a 23.
Oh
he's
yeah, I
better.
assume. But no, it was a good day. That was a really good day.
All right.
Dinner after that was sweet.
We've logistics done.
We've ticked off the small. just
Obviously, people
admin
can't
stuff.
come to training at the moment because we're 50 minutes out of town. I think there's a lock on the gate or COVID restrictions or
Something of that
we do
nature.
encourage people to just like bring your own forklift and watch over the fence if you want. But we had to give an update on training.
And we've done that.
So there's the update.
That's admin, sort of.
That's the admin. Now something's been.
Are we going to go? You want me to?
Well, we'll go. We'll leave the 11, the cricket chat for maybe Benny.
Okay, we'll leave this cricket stuff we do.
So we're going. I'm gonna hand this straight to you.
Well, I'm going to use it. Forgive me for using a cricket metaphor. I'm going to walk back to the top of my run up
Yep.
and steam in.
I'm presuming our listeners are going to know what's coming.
I honestly think our listeners, and I'm sort of hoping that they will feel as passionately about this as I and you
Yeah.
and we do, because this is almost like it's almost legal now. We can almost take it to a different hemisphere because...
In fact, we wanted to get a lawyer if there was a lawyer that's listening.
So anyone who's listening and is a lawyer or knows a lawyer or has a demon lawyer or I just need a lawyer and I need some advice because one of my faithful Onionites from the Barbie Onions page, who's doing quite well, sent me a photo, and I just don't know, because what upsets me most is we have such a brilliant, I thought we had such a brilliant relationship with the Shapes.
I'd like to see some sort of spreadsheet of when podcast is released to Shapes brought.
100%.
And especially in the Melbourne demographic areas, I would 100%.
Great content for us. Yeah. They get sales.
Yeah. We've been mentioning at Arnott's before. Majority of our segments.
100%.
Eddie Langdon's segment has been run
Sponsored
off
by
Arnott's.
So it just doesn't make sense to me what's happened because I've got this photo sent in. It's a limited edition shape flavour. I just can't.
It hasn't got the word in it, though, has it?
It doesn't. It does. So the flavour is sizzling steak and onion.
Oh, sizzling. Sizzling.
So they've gone. And Shapes, Arnott's Shapes. I don't know if you are listening, but I'm sure we can dig up some.
Hold on, give me the flavour one more time.
It's sizzling steak and onion Shapes. I am almost about to walk out of this. I'm about to quit the podcast because I'm almost certain at some point I said a Barbie onion shape.
Yep.
That would be really good.
Yeah. And they've used sizzling instead of
Sizzling
Barbie.
steak and onion.
Yeah.
It's almost sickening. Why? I just want to know why. That's a great idea, but why? Let's keep this relationship
It was a team.
going.
It was a
We're
relationship.
A team, Arnott's.
I feel like this could work against them.
It could, because what I'm going to say now is just the truth of the matter. I want a lawyer, Demon's lawyer, because I've got the photo sitting right here, and I want some advice because this is a goddamn travesty. I don't know if we can stand for this as a podcast. What do we stand for, Max? What's our identity? It's 2021.
Well, we're rebranding.
We're rebranding. Is this the sort of stuff we're going to cop?
No.
I don't think it is. I think we can't just set this aside and forget about it. Shapes, we've been a long time friend, and it breaks my heart to do this, but I can't sit down and let this happen.
I know for a fact when I put Savoury in my top 3, Savoury's made a comeback.
100%.
It's all of a sudden in the, when you go to like a petrol station, they only have 3 flavours. Savoury's all of a sudden one of the 3 flavours in my petrol station.
And just as factually, Max, I know when I sat down and said onions would be a good flavour, someone at Shapes has heard.
Yeah. Someone in Shapes is a loyal listener.
Someone has this loyal listener who's then betrayed us.
Disloyal listener.
Has betrayed the goddamn hell out of us. And I'm sitting here looking at this and I just don't know where to turn. So I've checked my junk email a few times. Nothing in there.
Yep.
Checked our Instagram.
Nothing.
No correspondence. In fact, read no reply from the Arnott's page.
Oh, wow. No. So
because I don't know if you remember, we applied for the Shapes ambassador.
Didn't get it. Yep.
But read no reply. I just don't know. I'm just not sure what they're trying to do.
All right. So do we park this? We wait for some legal advice?
But we're snippeting. I'm looking at the camera right now. Lawyers out there, we can't cop this. We need your help. And Arnott's, you have not heard the end of this because this is a goddamn travesty.
That's a Tom Buggs snippet right there.
It's a goddamn snippet. I just can't cop that. Anyway.
Are you okay to move straight to the next segment?
I can. Let's park it.
We're going to the Eddie.
I'll take a few breaths. All right. Let's go. We can go there. It's Eddie. How's it going again? It's been a long time. It's Eddie Langdon.
Yeah. Segment. Part of the rebranding with Lingers is to show the good in it. And we think there's a lot of good in him.
Well, there's no thinking. There's not up for debate.
There is.
There's plenty of good in Lingers. And we've made light of some stuff before. And I think part of the rebrand is we're just changing it up.
Yeah.
So let's start with the positives. I know you've got one. A big one.
Ed, who is north of the
city,
the river, the freeway, whichever way you want to say it, north of the city, and doesn't venture the other side of the Monash very, very often.
Rarely.
In fact, Casey feels is that side, the right side of the Monash, technically. So he doesn't venture that side too much, but he came to East End Wine Bar.
Brilliant.
And put some money behind the bar. And for a struggling family-owned business in East End Wine Bar...
Hit hard by COVID.
He's come in and put some money behind the bar. Yeah, he got a couple of freebies as well, and he took them without even wondering. But he put some money over for a relatively cheapish bottle, but he got the bottle. And
brilliant. That's what we like to hear.
That's able to put my future kids through school.
Well, that's the sort of stuff we want to hear. And I'd throw this out there to the listeners. If you ever see Ed Langdon doing something nice spontaneously, feel free to report it in. I've seen him work really closely with a few of the young players. Young Fraser Rossman looks like he's going to be a winger.
Yep.
And he's taken him under his wing and showing him the ropes. The winger,
He's interacting with so many people this year.
He has.
Yeah.
He's also moved into the... Oh, you can't say.
No,
It's
no,
positive.
it's just positive.
He has looked after Fraser Rossman really well, so that's another big tick in the Langdon category. You got anything else?
No, we can't use them all in the first.
Well, I've got volumes of stuff. I think we should probably save some for next week. But
we do employ our listeners.
Implore.
We're not going to employ them. We've got enough people here.
We've got, all our money's tied up in this legal battle with Arnold, so we probably can't employ a heap.
So we're going to implore them to tell us some good things that are going on.
You see some stuff at Langdon does. Maybe he lays a tackle one week or something. Just send him whatever you want.
Right, he tackles. That's a low blow. We're rebranding.
No, but
he gets plenty of tackles.
Yep. I'll cop that.
Okay.
I'll cop that feedback. It's a positive. We're positive. We love Lingers. Lingers is our mate. We might even get him to come on.
Moving on.
I'm happy to.
Okay, last segment before we go to a special guest.
Very special.
Yeah, I don't think we've had someone of this caliber in terms of sporting.
We've had some. No, I don't think our guest knows he's at the top of the tree.
Yeah. Gold medalist.
Yeah. Olympic gold.
There's the clue. You'll find out in due course. We just got to bring it down a notch and go to our next segment.
Yeah, so it happens. You can't be up the top the whole time.
Correct.
You rev the car at 100%, your car dies.
Correct. Ford v Ferrari, great movie.
Great movie.
All right, ready?
I am ready.
It's Benny Gibson.
He's got the news.
He's got the news.
Thanks, guys. Good to be back for Gibbo, Gus and Gawn 2021.
Ooh.
Doesn't have a ring to it.
No, it does not have a ring to
I think it does.
You could have put that in an Instagram page, could you?
That doesn't snip it well at all.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, you've already taken most of my news in terms of out on the track. I was going to go through the injury update. You pretty much did that with the rehab group.
I'm interested to hear what you've got to hear.
Do you want me to talk about you, Gus?
Please, I don't.
I did see a big scar on your foot the other week. How is that going?
It tends to be what you get from an operation.
Yeah, it
It's a big
sometimes
one.
happens. Big surgeries, they cut into your foot. No, it's good. I'm running. I did the 4-1Ks yesterday with Gawny and a few other boys, and I'm progressing well on a linear trajectory upwards. Haven't had any setbacks yet, and I'm feeling good.
He's penciled in Andrew Brayshaw, JLT1, and
Watch
then round
out,
one.
Andrew
He wants
Brayshaw.
both.
Gee, I think JLT1 is penciled in at this stage if we're going to Perth.
Yeah, but he's penciled in the one-on-one.
One-on-one. I'm
The
coming for
one-on-one, Andrew v Angus.
it. Put me out in the square. Let me take him down.
If we can get over the border.
The other one is Harry Petty. He's been in the rehab group, but I hear he was just sick for about a week or so during the Christmas break, which is why they're just managing his load. So nothing to be too concerned about. Yep, had a chat with Burjo last week. So
Yeah, I just...
Doing some actual reporting. That's a change.
That's great news.
Yeah, it is.
if you check the Melbourne website, you would have already been across that. But
Yep.
the other one I wanted to talk about was Kobe Farmer. You stole that.
Yep.
And then I was going to talk about the testing, which you also spoke about, Fraser Rosman. So we're going to steer away from footy for a little bit, and I want to talk about cricket. So
Sure.
I've got my laptop here, just watching the test between Australia and India.
Sounds about right.
By the time we go out with this, the test will be done. Hopefully no rain this afternoon.
India win, which would be
In
good.
Brisbane.
You're an animal, Max.
They're not going to chase down 328. But I want to talk about Kane Williamson because you're a big cricket man, Gawny.
We both are. Yep.
Yeah, we both are. And he's a New Zealand cricketer who's just been named the #1 test batsman in the world.
Yes, he has.
Do you agree with that?
He should be all formats. He hasn't got the ODI yet. I think Virat's still #1 in ODI, but I think he's probably the best. So I can be a smart aleck, or I can give you my honest answer. I'll stick away from smart aleck because we're rebranding. We don't play enough tests, so there is an issue with the amount of tests New Zealand play. 2-match series. We've only just got 4 for the summer. Aussies have 4 plus the trip to South Africa, which is another 3, so they're on 7. So we don't play enough tests, but he is more than qualified to be easily in the top 3. And at this point, he seems to be converting his scores more than Steve.
Well and truly.
And Virat's not playing. So that is why he's at #1. I can see why he's at #1. Do I think he's the best? All 3 of them have completely different techniques and play different sort of cricket. You probably can't compare them.
You could argue Steve would convert his scores against Pakistan on home soil as well. The problem I've got is New Zealand play terribly.
agreed.
So New Zealand win by an
So
innings.
would Steve try and convert him scores against the most second-ranked Indian bowling attack I've ever seen? Or is he going to go out cheaply?
I thought they bowled all right.
Good line of length.
Mate, they're all on debut. We're playing against Mohammed Abbas, who's played 100 tests.
Coming into the test, they had 13 wickets between them, India's side, so a little bit of experience. But
Bit raw.
New Zealand did.
Shaheen Afridi is seen as the next big thing.
New Zealand did win that test by an innings and 176 runs, so it's not as though it's a highly competitive test match. So
New Zealand are very good
jump
at home.
times, yeah. So I think that's the problem with that ranking. And
Yeah, maybe.
you look at England, Joe Root just made 228 against a pretty awful Sri Lanka team.
Away against spin.
Yeah.
The subcontinent.
You've been a very biased Australian cricket
No,
commentator.
I'm not too biased.
Don't talk about a bias towards your country. You've
Well,
basically
he's just
said
come down on Joe
Kangaroos.
Root as well.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
who likes the Pommies here?
And
The only thing he's pumping up is the Indian team because he wants to see the Australian Test Series win as one of the all-time best.
It will be.
Playing against a bloke on debut who made a 50 and got a 10 for.
Washington's a weird. I don't know how many. I don't know how
Let's
many
go into that
Washingtons
name.
there would be in India.
Washington Sundar is one of the better cricket names going around
It
the
is.
world at the moment.
It is correct.
Cricketing names. That's just a.
Speaking of
all-round
cricket,
cracker. Yes.
something came across my socials over the Christmas break.
It was Boxing Day, in fact.
Was it Boxing Day? Well, you wrote the article.
Good timing as
And
well.
obviously you wrote the article because you had me at 11, which is weird. But
Well, yeah.
have you got the cricket 11 there? The
I've got it
Melbourne,
right here.
Melbourne
It's a bit
cricket 11, written by Ben Gibson.
It's a bit like Tim Payne, where you got to put the captain in there, but you sort of bat him down the order because he can't hold the stick.
No,
Okay.
there's a lot of gripes I've got here. So we'll go through the order and then we'll dig into it. So we've got
Let's
Harms.
say if we'll go fair or not fair.
Harms opening.
Fair, he can bat.
Yeah, he can bat. I don't know if I'd have him opening, but I'd have him around there. Fritsch also opening.
Unproven.
Unproven.
And
Also
taking
the
the gloves.
Gloveman.
Oh, that's up to debate as well. I've never seen him keep him alive.
Jordan at 3. I think we ticked that off. And
Apparently can bat. Doesn't
Can't.
do much in change rooms, but apparently can bat.
yeah, but he's like, it's almost as if
He looks like a cricketer.
he was a fair cricketer.
Yeah.
My male's he's fair.
And he wouldn't pump up his junior cricket
of course,
stuff.
and he would
Yeah.
look at the
Yeah.
indoor stuff we do and say, "This is
Yeah, this is a level below me.
isn't me." Nietzsche at 4,
Yeah, unproven.
unproven.
I've heard he's
Well,
a very good talent from South Australia.
a young South Australian talent,
Yep.
so spreading the load. Mitch Brown.
How many South Australians are currently in the Australian 11?
I
think that's 0.
Yeah, James
there's a
Jordan-
couple more coming.
James Jordan could probably get a game for South Australia at the moment. Sheffield Shield's team is struggling.
Mitch Brown, all rounder at 5.
Mitch Brown can play.
He
Played
can.
played district cricket.
Sam Wiedemann, all rounder at 6.
See, this is the debate. Wiedemann's there because he loves cricket.
Wiedemann should be opening the bowling.
Wiedemann
Chuck
has-
in the new rock. And then,
Wiedemann
if you hadn't read
cannot-
the article,
but
Wiedemann is
why have you
opening
given
the
him a
bowling.
bat in front?
He cannot survive 6 balls of heat.
No,
I
he
reckon.
can't.
He's a very good batsman. Used to open the batting with me in
Yeah,
juniors.
but-
in
Yeah,
fact.
juniors, mate. What are you talking about? This is the real leagues.
he made a top score of 102 not out
Oh.
in F grade against Heather.
Your cute little backyard cricket league is not what we're talking
Yeah,
about here.
exactly.
That
So
was-
there's
that was-
gripe number 1. For mine, that's the biggest.
That's
so
gripe
far.
1. Gripe 1, 2, and 3. Wiedemann at 6. Doesn't
Wiedemann-
make sense. Who's at 7?
7 is Tomlinson,
Good cricketer.
good cricketer. Petty at 8 with the rock,
Apparently can bowl.
can bowl.
Yeah.
But I'd have Wiedemann opening the bowling and
Yeah.
him coming at the other end.
Yeah.
Brayshaw, and this is another gripe, bowling. At what's that, number 8, I guess. 8
So
or-
you're the spinner.
No, 9. Well, we've
You've-
got 2 spinners. I
Yeah,
don't know
look-
what the hell. How have they picked? So
Who's
Wiedemann-
at 10?
Hibbard 10, spinner.
Both
and
spinners.
Turner the
Both
mile.
good spinners.
Wrote this in preparation for the SCG test. So
Yeah,
they
right.
always put a bit in.
They didn't go with
spinners.
Swepson in the end, though.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
Should have. Maybe instead of
Gawn,
line.
Gawn at 11,
with
yeah.
the captaincy.
Which is
And
fair.
Can I just say, whilst you are the fearless leader of our football club,
Yeah.
I don't know if you get the captaincy in the cricketing sphere.
Go on.
Well, I just think how many years you played cricket competitively for?
I played for 2 years.
Okay. I'd suggest there's a little bit more out there in terms of cricketing experience.
2 years
2 might
is a
not get you
lot.
across the line.
I did throw Charlie Spargo in there as 12th man. Apparently, he doesn't like
Here
cricket,
we
but was
go.
okay at it. And
Apparently, that's not. We can't select your team based on speculation.
We've
One thing
talked
we
about
have to
this.
carry over, Max,
Yeah.
is our hatred of speculation. We need stock. We need something we can hold in our hands.
We're trying to rebrand
We are.
and
You're
show,
bringing
them,
us
and
straight
show the
down.
niceness and the good in people.
You're making it hard. But yeah, so there's the team. I think Wiedemann batting bowling's an atrocity. 2 spinners is questionable.
Questionable.
I bowl spin for a bit of a laugh.
Strong
more
batting
than
for.
anything else.
I don't know about Fritsch. He's unproven. Maybe switch him and Tomlinson. I
Yeah,
think
Tomo-
Tomlinson can be the
Tomo's-
Shane Watson opening the bat
Yeah,
and
right. Go
bowl
LBW.
some
Plenty of
medium.
Watson about.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
Yeah. He's got a lot of Shane Watson about him, actually.
Wade reminds me a little bit of Wade. If
Yeah,
we
he
can,
can go out. Poor
Stupid.
technique, but he'll do something. Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll go out and make runs.
So
And
we'll have
Nitschke
to
and
drop
Jordan are the 2 that we're building
Yeah,
our foundations
building.
yeah, so
on.
they're like the Pikovsky and Green.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, correct.
young players in. But no, look, there was Which
Didn't want to say Jamison, someone who's probably the more informed young all-rounder in the world.
We're in Australia here.
come on,
Okay.
Is he an all-rounder, really?
Well, he's making more runs than Green, so I'd say so.
we've got a lot of bases covered here, so I think we've got a good team. I don't know if anyone else has done this similar exercise, so we can't exactly have a.
I'd love to
AFL.
come up against a team, maybe just before the Chrissy break tends to be the best time to do it.
Yep.
We take on the Pies there at Amy Park,
Yep.
if we're ever allowed back.
Well, yeah. If that day ever comes, then this is what we'll do.
Lastly, before we move on to our special guest,
I thought I was a special guest.
well, you have been
long
everywhere.
segment this
You
week.
have been everywhere.
Yeah.
SEN interviews,
SEN.
Herald Sun pieces,
Don't know about this.
7 News.
all for backyard cricket, which is for a good cause. So you can potentially go on and say it's for a good cause.
There isn't really. We're 24-year-olds that play backyard cricket most weekends, so it's kind of sad.
Okay, yep.
But,
what was the push in the press for?
Cricket Australia jumped on board for a Made of Play campaign, so they'll be happy with that plug.
Yeah.
For those interested at all, which is probably not many, Sam Wiedemann does play with me in that little competition that we've got. So,
Jeez,
it got a bit
I
of
have a
media
question.
attention.
That's no basis.
I have a
for
question.
selection.
It's what came up to me initially when I saw it.
Go on.
Are you using Sam Wiedemann to push your media career?
Absolutely not. The person that reached out to us is from America and didn't know who Sam Wiedemann was.
They
So-
knew you though.
No, they just
Okay.
contacted the page.
Okay, yeah.
Vermont_BYC on Twitter.
From
and Instagram.
America.
Yeah, she was
Interested in backyard cricket.
Well, she was.
This
she's
story's full of
Australian,
holes,
It's got
Max.
full of holes.
Full of holes. I smell a conspiracy. I smell a rat.
Just trying to pay the bills.
Goodness gracious, man.
But it went well.
It did go well.
Who won? Your team or
Badgers,
Sam's?
Yeah, so I'm captain the Badgers. Sam's with the Pioneers.
Yeah.
Badgers in the second test batted for 3.5 hours.
Oh, jeez.
and the Pioneers haven't come back. So,
Okay.
yeah, things aren't going well for them.
Okay.
Sam bowled 10 overs, didn't bowl very well. The other bit of news I've got
Yep.
is that we now have a new look and feel for the Gus and Gawn podcast.
Yep.
And we're going to have launching a cartoon as a bit of a face. Of
Caricatures?
Caricatures.
They're never kind to me. Just
They
going
are.
out there. I'm easy fodder for a caricature.
Your helmet's normally bigger than your whole body.
Yeah, they somehow find a way to pump some helium into my helmet and expand it about 10 times. And it's low hanging fruit. So who's doing this? What's the name of the
wonder what they're going to
Joker?
draw from you, Gawny. So we've got Ricky Walker, who goes by Sports Berserk on his socials.
Okay, Ricky.
He's whipped
Come
something
on,
up.
Ricky.
Hopefully,
Oh, he's already done it?
yeah. We've seen a little draft. He sent that through. I said he was missing one character from this Gibbo Gus and Gawny podcast. So
Okay,
he
yep.
adds that in.
Langers.
Yeah.
But no, not Langdon. So hopefully we got that in time for the reveal of this one. If not, maybe next episode. But keep an eye on that. And,
Yeah.
it's looking very good.
That's a great comeback, Gibbo. I reckon you've started 2021 really well.
Well, yeah, some holes in a few stories and a bit of speculation, but I would say improvement on the whole, which is a positive. That's a positive step.
All right.
Let's keep it positive.
We'll be back after this.
Thanks to our co-principal partner and podcast sponsor, Zurich Insurance. For over 100 years, they've been insuring the people and things you truly love. And just like you, they truly love footy and they truly love the D's.
All right, welcome back, Gus and Gawney. Obviously, thanking our sponsors. They go for a while.
Don't say Arnott Shave because I'm not sure if we've mended that fence yet.
But Zurich,
Zurich,
the great
we love
people at Zurich, East End Wine Bar, Barbie Onions,
Yep.
but not
Not asterisks.
an
Shapes,
asterisk to shapes.
because it could go either way. Still, we're not decided.
But I mentioned earlier we have a very special guest, one that probably outranks
Yeah, the top
all of
the-
our guests.
You're fighting Deborah Brayshaw for the top position and the guest rankings.
Hamish
but,
Blake could get angry.
well, he's on the podium.
He's on the podium, but
Me and Deborah can duke it out.
we have a gold medalist.
We do.
We got a gold
I
medalist.
love how you've said that.
Yeah. So Melbourne supporter, welcome in Mack Horton. Mack, how are you?
I'm well, thank you for having me, boys. That's a big call that I outranked Hamish Blake. I don't think I agree.
Oh, sorry. I thought thought the big call was my mum you were outranking there. Oh, God.
My gut feel is we can take the Hamish Blake thing out just to make sure we don't offend
Well, no,
Hamish,
I think-
because we do want Hamish back at some point.
Yeah, well, we can bring him back to talk about it.
We can bring him back to talk about this.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's pretty hard to offend him. I think you'll be right.
Yeah, you'll find a
Okay,
way.
beautiful. Now, I started, Mac, by saying you're a D supporter. I hope I've still got that correct after the last couple of years. You're still on board with the club, but tell me why Melbourne?
I'm so hard on yourself. My dad has always gone for the D's. and he drives a Range Rover. So we
Say no more, mate.
You should have started with the Range Rover.
Should have started with Range Rover.
I didn't want to come straight out and look like a slug.
Yeah. I do want to thank the great people at Melbourne City Land Rover
Another
while we're at it.
friends of ours.
Yeah.
Mac, we were sort of thinking about things to ask you, and I remembered fondly an Anzac Day Eve game where you came down into the rooms after and got a photo with yours truly. Do you, first of all, remember that evening?
Loosely. I don't remember
Oh,
getting a photo with you.
I was hoping for a stronger response because I was going to segue that into... Go on.
Yeah. No, I was going to say I'm quite blessed that you remember me
Oh,
coming
mate.
down, because I feel like I'm in your territory. You're like doing your thing. I'm looking up to you guys. You don't want me there. You're playing a game. You're focused. You can't be bothered with everything else.
It's similar to us, like jumping in the pool after you just touch the wall at a 400 metre.
Yeah.
Well, no, so I was going to segue that and say, obviously, expecting a fond look from your way, because we have had a photo taken, but who is your favourite player at the D's? Obviously, if you don't remember the photo, it's probably not going to be me, but is there a favourite that you love to watch, or that you've had a photo with maybe, or something like that?
I think Christian Petrarca.
Yeah.
Sorry to both of you.
No, he's my favourite as well.
He's my favourite too.
We DM sometimes, and he is just a beast.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good way to describe him, actually, a beast.
It's a great way to kill the mood in here, but it's also...
you've really taken the wind out of our sails. It's not the Track and Gawney and Gus podcast, so I mean...
Now, some things that I found when I was searching Mac... your nickname is Mac the Knife. That can't be true, can it? That's got no ring to it at all.
Definitely not true.
Yeah. So where's that come from?
It's just one of those things. I won an Olympic gold medal, and the Herald Sun or someone made that the headline, and apparently that's now my nickname.
Aha. Can I refer to you as the Knife from now on?
No.
Understood. I was thinking about asking you something around communism. I've decided to steer clear of that, and I'm going to ask...
That is very wise.
How many? I was just wondering. I mean, did you miss last year? Obviously, how many games do you usually go to in the season? Did you miss coming to the G? And have you got any? Corny can't stop laughing.
I told Angus no communism references. He's gone rogue.
It's too late for it.
It's too late. We're not cutting that out either. That's staying in. God damn.
Okay, so how many Melbourne games normally, Mac?
What do you get to a year?
Maybe 6 to 8, I reckon.
Jeez, that's good.
It's good numbers.
Yeah.
It's getting higher and higher as I'm getting more and more into football. Like at school, I despised it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Basically because I could not kick a ball. I could only swim, and all the cool kids at lunch kicked footballs, and I was just like, this sport sucks.
Yeah.
But now that I don't have that pressure in the schoolyard, and I can just enjoy watching it, I'm really getting into it.
Yeah. I mean, our next question was, how did you go in junior football? But I presume you'd answered it
I think
there.
we might skip that question.
Either really poorly or you didn't play.
Something like that. That's all right.
Now, your 400 time 341, is that right?
That is correct.
So we do obviously a lot of off-leg swimming programs within our club. And if you cut down 341, I think it's around a 55, 100. Is that right?
Correct, yeah.
So we are asked to do our 50s in about 55. And we're usually tonguing it.
And by the end of that, I've sunk to the bottom of the pool. I think Christian Petrarca passed out once and had to get fished out of the bottom.
You mean get there faster than 55?
No, get there at around 55, have about 5 seconds rest, and then go again. So we're doing them on the minute.
Oh, God.
And drowning, Matt, that's the best way to describe it. Tracks genuinely had to get fished out of the bottom of the pool once. Your favourite player, mind you. It was such a bad swimming. I nearly drowned. It's impossible to imagine how you go that fast. From my end.
Well, it's impossible to imagine how you kick a ball so well on catch it.
Touché.
As a swimmer. Yeah.
You're referring to Angus there, I presume.
The kicker.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your quickest ever 50, just so we can work it out when we're in the pool next time.
Yeah.
Pardon? How much about a 50?
Yeah, what's like your pace for a 50?
ever.
Are you around the 55 mark as well, or?
No, I'm like a 27. Well, depends. If I'm doing like 400 pace, it would be trying to hit like 27 lows.
Yep.
If I'm doing 200 pace, like 25 highs.
Wow.
Yeah.
If you're just doing a one-off fitty.
What's your one-off fitty?
One off, 23 low.
Well, that's almost as fast as we run. You think about our 1Kers, we do
Yeah.
like.
So he's swimming at the same time we're running.
Yeah, just about.
That's incredible.
That is almost incredible.
That's a credit to yourself, Mac.
Yeah, Mac. No wonder
Yeah.
you're winning gold medals.
Yeah.
We endorse that. That's
Thanks,
good.
guys.
Um,
Thanks, guys.
Talk to me about your profession. COVID's obviously smacked it around in the last year. Olympics potentially at the end of the year. We don't know. I'm presuming you're targeting that as if it's still going ahead.
Yeah, you have to pretend it's still going ahead. Otherwise, I couldn't get up at 5:30 or whatever I do every day.
Yeah.
But I think I've actually kind of enjoyed the last year, to be honest. Before they pulled the pin on the Olympics, it kind of felt like it probably shouldn't be going ahead, and so it was like this kind of weird state where you're trying to fake to yourself that it's going to happen, and you're trying to get the most out of yourself in training. So when they did pull the pin, it was a relief. And then it's like, okay, now we just have time to reset, and then we'll have a year and a half to do as much as we can to get ready for next year. Which has been great because it means we can step back, take our time, build up very slowly, and I guess focus on all the things we probably normally wouldn't have time to focus on.
Yeah.
So I'm not against it.
You
I will be. I'll be against it if it doesn't happen this year, though.
Yeah, fair call. That's fair.
If you need any tips on hub life, I'm not sure about hub life in Japan. I don't know if that's my strong point.
I did study Japanese up until year 12, so if you need some phrases,
Konnichiwa and
Yes,
wasabi.
that's a
I don't
good
know
one.
how you guys did hub life. It was 100 days or something.
Yeah, it was 100 days. I mean, once we got past day 30, it just became normal life. So it's more like the initial part that you'll find is the struggle. But you're only there for one or two events, and I'm presuming it'll be within the same day or two. So I'm not sure how long you'd actually be in the hub.
Yeah, swimming's only, I think, 7 or 8 days at the Olympics, so it'll probably just be fly in, fly out for the week.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be unpleasant, I think, but whatever it takes to get the job done.
That's the attitude. That's the gold medal attitude.
That
we
is
like
the
to
gold
hear,
medal
Max.
attitude. Whatever it takes. What other events potentially? 400, 4x2.
A few relays in there, maybe.
Yeah, 4x2, maybe the 800, maybe 200 individual. The 400 is really the focus, and then the others are kind of like a byproduct of the training. Really want to have a crack at the 4x2 though. I think Australia's been slowly chipping away at the world last couple of years in that event.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what the boys can do in that, and I would love to be a part of it if I can be.
Yeah. Absolutely. So would I. If I could be a part of it, I'd love to be too. So I think
I don't think our time's going to cut it.
I'd love to be a part of you guys as well.
well, mate, if what's your favourite position? So we can make something work, I'm sure.
I don't even know that it's forward. I kick the goals.
We'll find somewhere.
Yeah, you and Big Brenny Brown.
Big Brenny can work something out.
Yeah. How do we get our 55-second 50s down to about 40? What's the big tip? Is it
Just one tip. We don't need. I don't complicate it because I'm not the best swimmer. I'm just thinking about one thing.
Just give us one thing we can go forward, and the next time our Darren Burgess sees us in the pool, he goes, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
I would say, I'll give you 2 tips.
Okay.
I can deal with 2.
Men typically have very heavy legs and hips.
Yep, that's Angus to a T.
That resonates.
Yeah, swimming uphill. So head down, bum up.
Yep.
Okay.
And relax is the biggest thing.
I can do that.
The second you start to push hard and stress out a little bit, it all falls apart. So you just got to relax and enjoy it.
Bum in the
Enjoy
air and
pain.
relax.
Bum in the air and relax. I can do both of those things quite easily, and watch out because
Oh, you're a star, Mac. We'll get you into the rooms for a photo of Angus at some point in 2021.
yeah, Christian's unavailable, so you just have to settle. But that's something I'm looking forward to. Thanks very much for talking to us today. That was a great chat.
Good luck in Tokyo.
My pleasure. Just quickly as well, Gawny, I need you to sign either my VMO or a photo of my VMO, because on one of my Instagram posts you commented VMO porn, and my gym coach lost his mind because he is also a D supporter.
Yep.
And so we need to organise that. Probably I'll bank it for a birthday or Christmas and just sit on it for a little bit.
That's easy. We can do that, and then you can do something for me as well. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, this can be a great relationship
Sign
going
your
forward.
foot or something.
Sign
I
my
don't
foot. Maybe my bum when I put it in the air during my swimming.
Yeah. Great stuff.
All right, good man,
All right,
Matt.
mate.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks for the chat.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
See you, mate.
That was very funny.
That was good.
Good from Max. Sorry for mentioning communism. I couldn't help myself.
Yep, we had one big red flag. He actually
that a
asked
pun?
me. He asked me a few times.
Is that a...
Unintended.
Unintended, sorry.
He actually asked me a few times. Oh, what are we going to be talking about? Like an uncanny amount of times. What
Like
are we going to be
he's a bit
talking
worried,
about?
maybe.
So. It was a red flag, but you went across it, and that's what our podcast does. We
push boundaries.
We push boundaries.
positive, though.
It was positive.
Very positive.
I've got to sign his VMO, which I'm excited to do.
And I'm going to be swimming very quickly from here on in. So that was wins for everyone all
I
round.
love it. That's the same message when you talk to someone about how do I get better 401ks or
Yeah.
how do I ride 200 kilometers better. Relax
Just
on
relax,
the bike.
mate.
Relax
second
on the
you start
run.
pushing, yeah, you're in trouble. That's cheap advice. I do like the bum though. That stuff that resonates with me. So I'm looking forward to implementing that.
We're back. We're done.
Aren't we?
2021
Brilliant podcast.
off to a flyer. Hopefully bring some current Melbourne footballers through the doors. The rebranding might help with that.
Absolutely. We've got we're back in training. Probably
Yeah.
a bit more opportunity to do this sort of stuff.
We can actually get them in the room, not on the phone.
Pin
It's
them
exciting.
down.
Yeah.
It is. I'm looking forward to it.
Really good start. Well done.
Yeah. Thanks, mate. You too.